What's going on YouTube? This is CFX at the Wave Dojo, and I'm here to talk about superhero video games from my childhood that I feel should be talked about. I want to start off by saying this isn't a top 5, this isn't a top 10, but it's just a video to reminisce on past superhero video games that did it right, despite the negative stereotype that, superhero games are bad. And that's kind of fair. Also, Arkham games, they're not included in this list, so, I want you to know that before you start watching this video and start asking for it. I haven't played any of them besides Arkham Knight, and I really enjoyed it. But, I want to be able to fairly talk about the franchise. And I know that's kind of wild. But, hey, with that being said, let's start. Okay, I'm going to start this game off with one of the, easy games that came straight to my head when I started compiling this list, and that's Spider-Man for the PS1. I think it was also on N64, but I played it on PS1 more because I remember going to Blockbuster. I remember going renting it with my brother, and I remember playing it. It was actually really fun. It was so much fun. I enjoyed the little stealth. I loved the costumes that were in the game. The graphics were really amazing at that time. Mind you, I'm 24, so I was a little younger, so graphics didn't mean that much to me. I wasn't so, anal about it like I am now. But back then, it was an enjoyable game, and if you haven't played it, you should play it. It should be enjoyable. I haven't played it in a long time, so hopefully it's not nostalgia making me, have fond memories of this game. But, I mean, what can I do? Okay, my next game is Spider-Man for the GameCube, which was based off of the movie with also the name Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire movie, and it was a great game. Like, it was fun to play. I loved going through the story. I loved how it followed the movie story because I was a real big Spider-Man fan. Like, I was a big Spider-Man fan before the movie. So after the movie came out, I was already a big fan. I love video games. I loved video games my entire life. So a game came out for it, so I was ready. It was a great way to get me back into Spider-Man after playing the PS1 version of Spider-Man, which is based off of Spider-Man in general, not necessarily a movie or anything. So to be able to attach that to the movie was a great experience, and it's one of those games that I think is slept on due to how good the second one was. But I think more people should go back and try to play that one because it's actually really fun. With that being said, obviously the next game on this list is Spider-Man 2, which is hands down probably the greatest superhero game of all time. That open sandbox New York City, swinging around as Spider-Man is something anyone would dream about. I mean, I know I would dream about it. I dreamt about it. That was something I really wanted to do. So actually playing that was a huge deal, and just the mechanics, the story, the missions, just all the little side quests. It was so ahead of its time, and I really hope that new Spider-Man game coming out for PS4 is anything like that, because if it is, then we are in for a treat, trust me. My next game on the list is a game that I really feel that people either sleep on or just don't know about. Is Batman Revenge of Sin Tzu, which was like a beat 'em up game, very in the vein of the Ninja Turtles game that was on GameCube, and like a classic beat 'em up, but just 3D. You could play as Batman, Nightwing, Batgirl, and Robin. And I think it's the Tim Drake Robin, and Dick Grayson Nightwing, of course, and Barbara Gordon Batgirl. And it was based off of the New Adventures of Batman, like the animated series, like the old style, like the really cool, the cool Batman show. You know which one I'm talking about. And it was the art style, first of all, amazing. I mean, it fit for those graphics for back then, and the gameplay was really fun. I remember, and you can do co-op. I remember playing with my brothers. I think we rented it or we borrowed it from a friend. But that game is so fun. I love mindless beat 'em up, especially when it's based off of characters that you really love. Especially Batman. I mean, it's Batman. And you can play with Nightwing, you can play with Robin. Like, what? That was such a good time. And Batgirl was cool. I didn't know much about her back then because I wasn't, well versed into the Batman world back then. But, I mean, she was good too. All the characters are good. And it's a game, if you like beat 'em ups, you'll love this game. Simply like that. Okay. Now, this next game has such a special place in my heart, and that is X2 Wolverine's Revenge on the GameCube. Man, my brother Douglas, or Dougley, on Hyperbolic Burger Milk podcast, he had this game, and man, because he had the GameCube, and man, this game was so much fun. It was really hard at first. It was really hard to get through and beat the enemies, because I kind of sucked at games anyways back then. So hard games were even harder for me. But man, this game was so fun. Just the music, just the atmosphere, the gameplay, the costumes that you can get, and you can put little cheat codes in to get the costumes. I always did that back in the day, and I love games that offer that. I feel like more games should offer that nowadays. They don't, because everything is DLC now, which I understand. I get it. But man, this game was so fun. I love playing. I get flashbacks. I'm probably gonna, try to find that game somewhere. Like, I really want to play this game. I haven't had it in a while, but this game is definitely a great superhero game. It deserves all the credit. Deserves a lot of credit for being a good. And it was kind of based off of X2 slightly, because and little stories, but it was good. It was good. It was its own entity. It was great. I enjoyed it, and I think if you played it, you would enjoy it too. Okay, my next game is Marvel Superheroes in the War of the Gems, and that's the official name of it. I just called it Marvel Superheroes, but it's a pretty cool game. It's Capcom, so it's like a Capcom style fighting game, but it's adventure. It's like a platformer. It's a beat 'em up in a way too as well. You get to play with Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Spider-Man, and Wolverine, and you go through these levels, and it's so fun. It is so fun. It was my type of game for back then. Like, if there was a game, if a game had to have my name and I had to rename a game from the past with my name, this game would be called CFX in the War of the Gems. Like, I swear, because this game is so fun. It's just my style, beating up, just mindless fighting with characters that I love. That's like, it doesn't get any better than that. And this is, the plethora of characters, like the range, like Hulk was probably my favorite to play with, followed by Wolverine, the best to play with, and Spider-Man is cool. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is like all around. He's good in every game you play him with. But I didn't play with Iron Man or Cap too much, when I was younger at least, 'cause I didn't really care about those characters. I still kind of don't. I do love their incarnations in the movies, but I don't care about the characters as much as most people do. But hey, they were great characters, and I loved Hulk, Wolverine, and Spider-Man at that time, because no one can tell me that those characters were whack. That was just me being a kid, though, so excuse me. I'm continuing. It feels like I'm all over the place. I'm jumping from different consoles, generations, going to the older games, to newer games, older games. Like I said before, this is not a top 5 list, so this is not in no particular order. So just order from how they came into my head. So the next game is Ultimate Spider-Man. I know it's very similar to Spider-Man 2 in gameplay, but the art style had a little cell shadedness to it. It was based off of the Ultimate Spider-Man comic. You could play as Venom in this one too, and Venom was so fun. It reminded me of this older Hulk game that I played. I didn't really love it that much, but the gameplay was cool. But that's why it's not on this list. But man, Venom was so much fun to play with. You could eat humans, you could throw cars at people, and do all this crazy stuff. And Spider-Man was cool. Spider-Man was good because it was good playing with Venom, because you never really got bored of the gameplay. Because if you get too bored of one character, you switch, and it just fit. It worked. The graphics were great. The gameplay was great. It was a great game, and I really wish they would re-release that or HD remaster. Something. Give us something, please. Okay, now this next one is probably, out of all of these ones besides Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine's Revenge, is probably the one I played the most. I probably put the most hours in, and that is Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. Man, I played that game so goddamn much. Me and my brothers used to play it all the time. We had it on PS1, and I remember because the disc was really scratched, so there was times where we couldn't play at all because we had to keep trying to get it. We put alcohol. I think we even put toothpaste at one point. But man, it was so hard to play this game, but it was worth it every time we got it to work. Man, I used to play that around the same time I played Brave Fence and Musashi, but that's a whole other story. But man, this game was so fun. Like I used to play, obviously, used to play with the Street Fighter characters, but I also really like the Mega Red. I love Spider-Man in this game. There was just a lot of characters in this game that was just so fun to play with, and it was a little bit different than the Capcom versus, because it was just Street Fighter characters versus Marvel characters, which I kind of like more. I would love to see another game like this, but you know, we get Mario Capcom Infinite coming out, so I'm cool with either way. But man, this game is, out of all the Marvel vs. Capcom type games, this is probably my favorite. Definitely my favorite. I'm not gonna front. This is the favorite. The more I record this video and the more I look back on each of the games and I look at the list, I realize a little trend. My next game is Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. That seems like familiar to any of the other games I named, probably because it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. And this is one of the greatest beat 'em ups ever. It's so fun. You get to play with Venom, and I don't know if you could play with Carnage. I don't know if you could, because I never got far enough to unlock them if possible. But man, this game was so fun. It was just so fun. And you know, anything that Spider-Man was on, I loved. Like Spider-Man and X-Men, my favorite comic series. Like X-Men's my favorite, then Spider-Man. I mean, Superman's my favorite hero, but that's different. That's a whole. Superman never had a good game. I'm sorry. Even though Superman Returns was decent, but Spider-Man Maximum Carnage was fun to play. And I feel, if you haven't played it, like I said with a lot of these games, if you haven't played them, try them out at least. Just try them. If you don't like them, you don't like them. That's, everyone has their preference, but please try these games. These games are games that I just thought about this video and they came straight to my head. So it lets you know where these games lie in my head, you know, lie in my heart. Okay, we're getting close to the end, and I wish there were more DC video games, but you know, I'm a DC person, but Marvel had the better games in my opinion. But my next game is X-Men Clone Wars 2. It's on the Sega, and I don't know how I played this game, but I did, because I never had a Sega, in-house Sega. I had a Super Nintendo, but I played this game a crap ton. I played it on emulator recently, and it was fun. It's kind of difficult. It's not extremely easy, and the way the game starts is a little unorthodox, but man, this game was fun. And I love Nightcrawler. He's like my favorite X-Men aside from, you know, Cyclops. So you know, I'm with it. I'm with this game. This game's a good game, and I wish I could say more than just it's a good game, but I mean, that's the reason of this list. I love all these games, and I think that they're good and deserve to be highlighted. Honestly, I mean, that's basically the reason. I want to highlight some games that people may not know about. Okay, mini tangent aside, let me continue with the final game on here, and that is X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Now this game, it is among my favorite games on this list. Like, if I had to section it off, it's in the top 3 of this list. It was just, the art style was really good. First of all, let me start off with that. I love the art style in this. I played it on Super Nintendo. It was just such a beautiful game. Like, it just looks so good. The pixel art was just beautiful. The playable characters was Beast, Cyclops, Gambit, Psylocke, and Wolverine. The only thing that would have made this game better is they added Nightcrawler. 'Cause I love Nightcrawler, Cyclops, and Gambit. Those are my 3 main X-Men people. So I already got Cyclops and Gambit, and they all had their own little special abilities. They had their own special level. Man, this game brings back so many memories, man. And I don't remember, I had it on cartridge. I'm sure I did, but I don't know how I got it and when I had it. I just had it. Such a good game. Oh my gosh. Wolverine was really cool. I liked him in this because, you know, Wolverine's hit or miss for me personally. So for him to be good in this, that's a good thing. Such a good game. And man, I want to play it right now. I'm probably going to play it right now. I have it on emulator, which I hate. I don't want to play games on emulator, but it's like, man, I need more. I need them to release some of these consoles with HDMI ports. Re-release them, please, because I'll buy them. I'll spend the money. But hey, let me wrap up this video. That's the games that I chose for this. If you didn't see a game that you really think is a great game that I should have put on this list, write them in the comments, because I may have never heard of it, and I may want to play it myself. You know, because I would if I posted this video and it wasn't me, I probably would watch it myself just to see like, oh, what video games are pretty decent, what do people like, you know, from people who actually play games. So hey, if you like these games, then I appreciate you for watching the video. Thank you for taking your time. And if you got this far in the video, that means you were intrigued and you were into it enough to continue to watch, and I appreciate that. And if you like it, leave a like. If you dislike it, leave a dislike. Share it if you like it. Don't share it if you don't. You know, just, you know, subscribe if you like the channel. If you want to see other videos, I'll put some links somewhere. You'll see them. It's easy to find. Well, that's it. The CFX at the Wave Dojo, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.